In this video, we'll look at how to declare variables in Python. When you talk about a variable is like a container that holds values. It can also be referred to as identifiers or references to a value in the computer's memory. In Python, in order to declare a variable, you write the name of the variable, and then with the equal to sign or the assignment operator, you assign a value to it. So I can define a variable called username and then assign a value of Bob to it. So by so doing, I have defined a variable called username, and then the value it references or points to is Bob. In order to output this in my terminal or to print this out, I'll use the print function for Python. So I write print and then the variable name, which is what? Username. And when I go to my terminal, I can run my Python file using the Python command. So I write Python, then the name of my file, which is main.py. And when I press enter on my keyboard, I get the value Bob outputted in my terminal. I can define another variable, let's say score, and then assign a value of 90 to it. And then in order to print this, I'll say print then the variable name, which is score. And when I go to my terminal and run my Python file, I get the values Bob and 19 outputted in my terminal. So this is how we can declare variables in Python. Now, in order to declare variables, there are certain rules that we have to keep in mind or take note of. The first one is that the first character should be a letter or an underscore. So what this means is that whenever we are declaring variable, the first character of the variable should be a letter or an underscore. So I can go ahead and then put an underscore here, and then we are good to go. The reason why I'm getting this error is that this variable name is undefined because we don't have any variable called username again, but we have a variable name called underscore username. So by so doing, when I change it, now the error is gone. So I'll just go back and revert this. So we should always start variables name with what? Letters or underscores. So I cannot start by writing a number before the name of for my variable name. I'll get an error in my text editor, as you can see. So that's the first rule or the first convention you have to keep in mind. So you should always define your variables starting with what? A letter, and then later on you can add a number to it. So by so doing, you see that my text editor is not giving me error. This error is that now there's no variable name called what? Username, but we have username 123. So by so doing, the error is gone. So you should always keep this in mind. Now, the next rule you should keep in mind is that the rest of the characters can be any combination or letters, digits, and underscore. So whenever you have a variable name that is two or more words, you can use underscore to denote it. So I can say username of, let's say, Bob as the name of my variable, and then when I copy this and then replace it here, you see that the error is gone. So whenever you have two or more words that is used to define your variable, you can use underscore to separate them. So you can do this in Python, or I can do underscore and put 123 here, and we are good to go. So these errors, just ignore them. Yes. So those are the rules that you should keep in mind. Now, one thing is that there are some special characters like the @ symbol, the percentage sign, the dollar sign, the hash sign or number sign, and then the ampersand sign are not allowed in variables name. So when I go ahead and put an ampersand here, you can see that my text editor is giving me an error, or when I put a dollar sign here, you can see that it is still giving me an error that it is not allowed. When I put an @ symbol here, you see that the error is there. When I put percentage as well, you see that we are getting an error. So these special characters are not allowed to be used as in variables name. So you shouldn't add them to the name of your variables. Now, one thing you should also keep in mind, or one rule you should take note of, is that variables are case sensitive. What does this mean? So I'll just go back and write username. When I go ahead and declare another variable, let's say username with a capital U starting, and assign it to, let's say, team, and save. Now, these two variable names are different. So when I go ahead and print, first of all, username with a small u, and then print username with a capital U, and go to my terminal and run my Python file, you see that they all refer to what? Different values in the computer's memory. So they are not the same. So in case I comment this one out and then comment this one also out and then change this one to capital U and try running my file, I get an error saying our name error, name username is not defined. Did you mean username? So you should keep in mind that what variables names are case sensitive. And also when I declare a variable, let's say, let me comment this in. When I declare a variable, let's say username in uppercase like this, is different from the username in lowercase. So you should keep in mind that what variables are what case sensitive. Now, there are some keywords that we shouldn't use in declaring the name of our variables. These keywords are reserved words in Python. So reserved words like true, like this, is not allowed for the name of a variable. Another reserved word is false. Another reserved word is if. There are a lot of reserved words in Python. So in order to see the reserved words that are built into the Python language, I'll use the print function, and then with the hop function, I'll just print or print the hop of the string keywords. And then this will display the reserved words in Python. So when I go to my terminal and then run my file, you see that it prints out some of the reserved words that or keywords that are built into the Python language. So as you can see them, we have false, none, true, and as, assert, break, class, continue, and so on and so forth. So whenever you are declaring variable names, you cannot declare a variable called, let's say, class equals maybe basic 6. No, you see that you are getting what an error saying that what uh, expected an identifier, syntax error. So this is not what a valid variable name in Python, where when I go ahead and then put an underscore and put class name here, we are good to go, because the class is a keyword or a reserved word in the Python language. So reserved words are not allowed in what in our variable to are not allowed to be used to declare variables in Python. So as you can see, when you use this function print and then the hop with the hop keyword, you can get all the keywords or reserved words in the Python language. So we'll move on and talk about some built-in functions like any, and then sum, and then max and min, which are also built-in functions that are not allowed to be the name of a variable. So in order to see those built-in words, I'll just comment this one out and I'll say print, and then I'll use dir function, and then underscore underscore built-ins underscore underscore. So this will output the built-in functions, or it will give us a list of the built-in functions that cannot be used to declare variables in Python. So as you can see, when I run this file, you can see this is a list of a lot of what properties. So when you come to the end of it, you see all the methods. So you can see the print method here, you can see slice, sorted, and then you can see sum. It is in alphabetical order. So you can see all these methods which cannot be used to declare variables. Also, when I go ahead and write min and then assign it to, let's say, 50, you see that we are getting an error here, because this min is what a function that is being which is defined in what Python. So you are not supposed to use it to what declare the name of a variable. So I can put underscore and put what min mark, and then we are good to go. We don't get that warning or that error this thing notification in the text editor. So that's it about variables. Now the takeaway in this video is that whenever you want to get help or know the type of value that you want to send to a variable, you can use the print, and then with the type function you can pass what an argument to it. So for instance, when I pass, let's say, Bob here, and then go to my terminal and run, you see that we are getting, let me just comment this out and go back, clear it and run it again. You see that I didn't comment that out. Let me comment it out and then run my file again. You see that we get a class str. So we'll be looking at data types in the next video. Now the key takeaway here is that in Python, variables are just names that refer or point to an object in the computer's memory. So the actual value is stored in the object in which that variable is being is pointing to. So as we have seen, so this Bob over here value here, or when I go ahead and then pass in my message variable here and then clear my terminal. Let me see if I have a message. No, I don't have a message variable declare here. It's what username. So I have to change this to username and then go ahead and run this code. So um this variable, this value here is stored in this string object. So we'll be talking about objects and then data types in the next video, and then you understand more on that. So variables are just references. So this username variable here is just a reference or a pointer to the value Bob in the computer's memory, and then I can go ahead and declare another variable which points to this username variable. So I can write another username and then assign it to the username variable. So when I do this and save and then try printing it, so I'll comment this out and then I'll print the username variable first, then I'll print the another username variable. And then when I go ahead and run it, you see that it's giving us the same result, Bob, Bob, or the same value, which is what? Bob, Bob. So this variable just serves as what? A pointer or a reference to a value in the computer's memory. The actual data or the actual value is stored in what? The object or the data type in which you have assigned to that variable. So you should keep that in mind. So that's all in this video, or that's all for this video. Please, if you like this video, please consider subscribing and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.